After hitting the market in 2024, the Capita Mega Death became one of the most talked about boards in the game. And after riding it all last winter, it became one of my personal favorite boards as well. So in this video, we're going to dive into what makes this board so awesome and why this might be your next board for 2025. What's up? I'm Shane Serrano, coming to you from Radio Board Shop in Aspen, Colorado, and this is the 2025 Capita Mega Death, a directional all-mountain freeride snowboard. Jumping right into the tech, you'll find Capita's Alpine V1 profile, which is dominantly camber running through the body. In the nose, you will have reverse camber to help you float in powder, and in the tail, you'll have flat zero camber, ending slightly with reverse camber. On the bottom, you'll find Capita's Mega Drive XT base, which will give you the fastest ride out of their entire line. And this is my favorite feature of this board. As soon as you get on this board, you notice how fast it is. I've ridden a lot of boards in my life, and every time I get on the Mega Death, it is constantly surprising me with how fast it is. Whether keeping your speed up easier on a catwalk, bombing down groomers, or even skating through the lift line, I have never felt a board like this. And for this season, they have given an upgrade to the base to increase its durability. Sometimes with a premium fast race base, you can find they're not as durable as standard bases. But even on the 2024 model of the Mega Death, I found it held up very well with no damage to report after riding it hard for an entire season. Another major feature you'll see in the Mega Death is how light it is. In fact, it's the first thing you'll notice when you go to pick this board up. Even before you get this board on snow, you can feel the premium quality of it just by holding it in your hands. And originally, this was actually a big concern for me. I thought with how light the board was, combined with the carbon construction, it would give for a really twitchy ride that was prone to get tossed around in chunkier or harder snow. But once I got this board on snow, I completely forgot about that thought. I really don't know how Capita was able to do this, but it truly makes for an amazing feeling under your feet. The way Capita can create such a lightweight board all comes from the core construction, which you can see right on the top sheet of the board. After selecting the most premium cuts of poplar possible, the core is sandwiched with channels of recycled thermopolymer. Above and below this hybrid core is a sheet of megacarbon, which replaces the fiberglass which you would find in any other board. Together, this construction makes for not only one of the lightest boards, but one of the snappiest. And let me tell you, this board can snap an ollie like you've never felt before. For me, that made this board so much fun to feel the pop not only when I was leaving the ground, but also when I was snapping in between toe and heel side carves. And speaking of carving, the Mega Death has been a blast to rail turns across the entire mountain. With this being a directional board, you will have a stance that is set back 0.8 inches, giving you a little more nose than tail. Pairing this up with a progressive side cut makes for a board that is so much fun to turn. And one thing to keep in mind with the specs of the Mega Death is that it was completely built off the black snowboard of death. But while the two numbers may be the same on both boards, they have completely different rides. One of the most surprising characteristics to me of the Mega Death was its approachable medium to stiffer flex. Comparing this to the stiffer flex of the BSOD, I found I was able to create much tighter turns on the Mega Death than the black snowboard of death. Even though they have the same side cut, the easier flex allows for you to push in a deeper turning radius. This helps to make the Mega Death a much more approachable ride than the BSOD, making it a great pick for most intermediate riders. One thing I found with the Mega Death is that it will flex and flex and flex until it hits a threshold where it will snap back like a spring. This is due to the mega carbon construction, and you'll most likely feel this when you get too far back on the tail of the board in the exit of a turn. In my opinion, the Mega Death is one of the best all-mountain freeride boards I've ever ridden. And at $999, I truly believe you get the perfect deal on one of the most premium rides you can find. If you're interested in purchasing the Mega Death, you can support local snowboarding by visiting radioboardshop.com, which is also linked below. This board comes in sizes 156, 159, 162, 157 wide, 161 wide, and new for this season, a 165 wide. For me, the only aspect where this board is lacking is in the available sizes. If Capita wants this to be one of the best snowboards of all time, it needs to be offered in a full size run, down to as small as maybe even a 145, so that smaller riders and women can enjoy this insane snowboard. If you want to see how well the Mega Death rides specifically in powder, you can watch that right here. And until next time, we'll see you somewhere on the mountain. Peace.